Brooks, we're talking about timing, and we're talking about timing in the markets and whatnot. And oftentimes, timing in your business, building, renovating homes, is summertime, is it not?
Oh, summertime is the greatest time. That's when we can take on projects where we're able to take roofs off, go up, put up second floors, when you're not dealing with all of the water that we get the other 9 months out of the year. And it's really not that we get so much more water than other places. It's just that it's just consistent.
Is that a Seattle thing? Summertime is for remodeling? I mean, other parts of the country, they must not have to worry about it.
Well, no, we really have great weather for working actually all year round. Summer's just a little bit nicer, and we don't have to spend as much money and effort doing weather protection. But in the winter months, we still work all year round without having to do snow removal. I've got builder friends of mine who are back in the Midwest and up in the Great Lakes, and when they start work every day, they've got to plow the driveways, plow the sidewalks, just so they can get to the job to work. We're a little wet, and that's not necessarily the most comfortable. We're not freezing to death. So
yeah,
I would say, summertime's great.
So talk a little bit about summer. I mean, there's some good, I guess, analogies you brought to the table here with summer and even movies and how remodeling and movies come together. We call it remodel movies. Remodel movies,
yep. And that the analogy is that, summertime you have great blockbusters, you got great blockbuster movies. Summertime's a good time to be building. And there's a couple movies that I think really connect up with renovating or building a custom home. The first one I think of is Rob Reiner's Princess Bride, which has now become a cult classic. And you have the hero Wesley, who is always trying to save the princess, and they're going to go through the fire swamp, and the princess says, well, we can't go through the fire swamp. No one's ever made it out. And Wesley says, well, yeah, we can. It's just that no one ever has, but we can. And so often people are, when they have ideas about renovating or building a custom home, they get shut down so early by friends and family that say, well, that's impossible. That's too expensive. You can't do that. And I really encourage people not to give up hope and to really take their ideas and ask their builder, hey, is this possible? Is it something that I could afford? And your builder's going to give you good feedback and help you with understanding, will it fit in your budget? Will it fit in your home? And will it achieve the results you're looking for? If you're asking for a 15-foot water fountain in your living room and your ceilings are only 10 feet high, it is possible, but it's going to take it'll take some money, and it'll take some structure to do it. But it is possible, and then you go back to your budget and rework it. So don't give up on your dreams of what you're trying to do. And part of that, your builder will help you analyze that.
Is there an element of just taking that first step and getting a hold of somebody who can walk you through what to expect? I mean, is that a big piece of remodeling? Because everybody's got something in their house they could change.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the beauty of renovations and remodeling, is that part of it's just picking up the phone. I mean, we have a Talk to Scott button on our website where you can just click there, set a time to talk for 10 minutes. And it's really, in 10 to 20 minutes, you can get a good idea of what you're trying to do is reasonable, affordable, and would meet your goals.
I mean, like the water fountain.
Like the water fountain. And you're going to find out, gee, I want to build a swimming pool in my backyard, but I live on a cliff with a 40% slope, and I have $5,000. And with that information, we could come up with, well,
there's a kiddie pool at Bartell Drive. It's for $4.99. You can buy right now.
Yeah, and without not being too, we try to use some humor, but you have to be realistic. So you can still be hopeful, you can still be optimistic, and then we help with those and being realistic.
Brooks Powell joins us, co-owner of Powell Custom Homes and Renovation. So, Brooks, what are some other movies you feel like fit in well with the remodeling game or construction game?
Well, I like Jurassic Park, with Jeff Goldblum. That is a great one, and one of his great lines in that is just that just because you can do something, you shouldn't. It doesn't mean you should. So hey, just because we can afford to do it, should we do it? And that goes to trends, and it really is. There's a lot of trends every year. There's a lot of great ideas, and what are those things that are going to stick, and what are those things that we come back to and we say, gee, avocado and gold appliances really probably was more of a trend than something that would have stood the test of time. We found that stainless steel appliances really are standing the test of time, whereas before we had two choices. We had white and then we had almond, and those were our two appliance choices. And when we were able to get to stainless steel, that was a great thing.
How long has stainless steel been around now in appliances?
Boy, 15 years.
And is that a long time?
Yeah, that's a long time, because your typical trend line for colors and some things is only 3 or 4 years. You'll see colors come in and out of fashion only for 3 or 4 years. Products will come in and out of fashion
daily.
Well, daily, but some things will hold, like slab granite has held for 12 to 15 years. We're finally seeing a transition out. Still a great product.
What is the next one?
Quartz is the next one. And quartz has been around for 3 or 4 years, and that
kind of looks the same, doesn't it? I don't even know what the difference would be.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is there's probably 4 or 5 different levels of granite, and quartz has really basically one level, but quartz is relatively bulletproof. I mean, you can drop a pan on it, and burn it, you can sand it out, you can fix it. It'll look as new 10 years later as it does today. So it's really a fantastic product.
Is there lots of different quartz?
There's like 60 different colors. There's several different manufacturers. Cambria Quartz is one manufacturer. The Pentel has a quartz. Peter Pentel has a great quartz line that they do right out of Seattle, and they're based right in Seattle and distribute nationally. So there are many different products that will come in, and either they're going to be trendy, so just because you can do it, should you? Or is it something that's going to last a long time? And that's where you ask your builder, and you're going to get great feedback. I mean, we've been building houses for 104 years, and we can tell you what's going to last and what's not going to last.
When people start to, we were just talking about timing, the timing of a trend, the timing of something that will last forever. I know that a lot of people think about bigger houses. And there was a trend, and maybe it's still going on, where everybody wanted the biggest possible house. All of a sudden, it's 4,000 square foot houses on 4,100 square foot lots, or whatever it is. I mean, it could be 2,000 square foot lot and just 2 floors. Is that continuing around, or do you tend to think the trend will start to be smaller houses again?
Well, it's interesting. The trend has been to go to smaller square footage houses during the recession. The average house in the nation is only about 2,200 square feet. So in Seattle, we see a lot of larger homes. I think that's because we have such a great economy. We have some great companies here that allow people to build larger homes. But what we're seeing is that the trend went from like 2,300 square feet and is pushed back down to 2,100 square feet. So it didn't change by much, maybe only by 10%. What we found is that people don't need as much space as they think they do. If you design a house well, you could live very well in 1,800 square feet or 1,500 square feet.
A lot of that does come with the design. Again, We're here with Brooks Powell. So, it comes with that design. And I guess that's such a key element too. I mean, is the design as you start to maybe consider adding square footage. I don't know what movie you would say would be to make a house bigger.
Yeah, well, there's all
cheaper
sorts.
By the dozen.
Cheaper by the dozen might be the one. And it's about repurposing space. And taking space you already have and repurposing it, recycling it, so to speak. I mean, that's the ultimate green design, which is taking square footage you already have and repurposing it, taking that living room, dining room, and saying, hey, let's make this a family room. Let's make it a work space. Let's make it flex space. And that's the thing that you can do without even expanding your square footage. So there's definitely different ideas and different trends that you can work with.
And I would imagine and we do have to go to break, but even just opening up a wall can make something feel much bigger, even though it really hasn't added any square footage.